Hey guys, Hippie Magica here. So today I want to share two manifesting stories that happened to me last week, and they were pretty freaking amazing. So I went to Colorado for a sacred geometry apprenticeship 2 weeks ago, and it's pretty magical. So this is the second module, and the same thing happened. Like, we create these sacred structures, and then the energy rises dramatically, and everything near it and inside the structure raises its energy. So obviously we all had our energies raised, and you can tell that your energy raises when you feel happy, when you feel good, when things start freaking coming to you. Like, a lot of things start coming to you, things that you were thinking about, that you want, beautiful things. And the stories that a lot of stuff happened that I can share about in another video, but these stories are the ones that happened when I was driving back from Colorado to Kansas. So it was a 9-hour drive, and I'm like, because I drove to Colorado 9 hours without stopping, I'm like, I don't want to do this again. So I last minute requested a couch host in Hayes, Kansas, and he accepted. But when I was getting close to his house, like, it was just getting too late. It was almost midnight, and he had to get up by 7. So he's like, sorry, I can't host you anymore, literally like at last minute. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then around midnight I decided to stop at a rest area because I couldn't stay up anymore. Like, I couldn't drive safely, I was too tired. So I went to sleep. Woke up at 2:30 a.m. because it was freezing. It was like 30 degrees. I turned on the car for the heater only. I fell asleep and I woke up within an hour because it was freezing again. But I realized that the car battery had died. I'm like, oh my gosh, this can't be happening. So the car died. It was cold. I was tired and I was really cold. So during the next couple hours I was just shivering in the back of my car. I was like, my animal instinct, like die or run instinct, kicked in because I was so cold. I was worried, like I was in the middle of nowhere, and then my mental instinct kicked in and I started to be positive. I started to visualize what I wanted. So I started to visualize me arriving home early, like very early. I was visualizing myself being happy in my room, laying on my bed, just, a sense of relief. And I was visualizing me driving the car. So what I wanted. And this happened because I think, like, I had no choice but to be positive. And I visualized, and I actually set the intention. I'm like, I intend for the Hummer, because I have a Hummer, for the Hummer to turn on without a jump start. I intended to turn on by itself without any type of help. And that's what I said, that's what I visualized. And I did this for like, I felt like it was a long time, but it was probably like 20 minutes, just visualizing after I get home, which would happen if I didn't have a problem, right? So I did that, and then I guess I went back to sleep. And then around 5 a.m. I woke up again. I'm like, because it was hella cold, I'm like, I can't just sit here and wait for somebody to jumpstart my car. So I started to look at services, and surprisingly there's people who come to people's cars if they run out of gas, or if their battery dies, or if they have a flat tire, and they just come and service it. So it was $75, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to pay this much just to jumpstart my battery. But it was cold, freezing, and I just couldn't wait. Like I have low fat, like I was hella cold. And I typed in my debit card information, and I thought, well, if I'm gonna manifest money, $75 is nothing for me, right? It's nothing. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna be grateful, and I'm grateful that these people exist. Right before I was gonna hit, send request, I had the idea, an intuition thing. Like, turn on the car first to see if it turns on. You know, just, that idea just popped into my head. I'm like, okay. And then I thought, like, okay, so if it turns off, then, you know, like, I know I should buy the $75 service. So I'm like, whatever, you know, like, I didn't think much of it. Like, I knew it wasn't gonna turn on, like, because I tried it so many times before, and I've never seen a car turn on when the battery has been dead for hours. So I'm like, okay, and the freaking car turned on. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was so ecstatic. Like, I was at a 10. Oh, I was so happy, so blessed. And I know I created that. I created it. I mean, that's what I visualized. I intended the Hummer, the car, to turn on by itself without a jump start. And then, so that's the first story. Second story, I was so happy when I was driving back. I had a lot of resistance, because I always have resistance here in Kansas. My dad, he has a tendency to hoard things and hoard animals. So he just buys stuff all the time, and he bought animals, dogs. So we had, like, at a point, like 4 animals in the house. And he's very, like, old school, traditional. He grew up in a farm, and he was homeless when he was a kid, so he still has that mindset. So the dogs they're either at a almost abandoned house, just protecting my dad's property, or they're here in the garage because we felt sorry for them, so we would just bring them here in the house and take them out to the restroom. But, like, they were still, like, in a cage. Like, they're in the garage, and they would only go out whenever they needed to go to the restroom. And I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to go through that. Like, I didn't want to see that, you know, because I feel like that's kind of animal cruelty. That's not a life for them. So because I felt so powerful already manifesting, you know, the car starting, I visualized while I was driving back to Kansas. I'm like, I intend for the dogs to have a home, a happy home, a loving home where they're gonna be happy, where they're going to enjoy life. And I just visualized it, and I felt it, and I was so happy for them, and I cried. And yeah, there was a lot of emotion. And my dad is going to Mexico, and we've been telling him, take them to Mexico, take them, because over there they're more free, you know, there's more people. But, like, that didn't come up to my mind when I was doing this manifestation process. I'm like, I just want them to be happy. So I set that intention. And guess what happened when I got home? The first thing, I stepped into the house, my little sister, 17-year-old sister, the first thing she tells me is, oh, the dogs are not here anymore. My dad took them to Mexico. Oh, my heart lifted again. It's like 2 amazing manifestations. Like, I felt so powerful that day. Unlike a lot of days before that day in Colorado, my energy was just high. And here in Kansas, good things have happened, like a lot of good things, but now that I'm learning about this sacred geometry information, like, I just think and believe and know that my body, my energy is not meant for Kansas. You know, like, my energy is I'm a nomad. I'm here to travel. I'm here to enjoy. I'm here to live in other places, not in Kansas. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that inspires you, and I will be posting more often about my manifestations. I manifested an incredible trip to Europe, and yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Bye.